Hello, everybody. It's Aiden here, and today is the first episode of Marketing Freak. So let me just kind of invite you to leave comments. I have a program here, which is going to take me a bit to figure out, but making sure that I can respond to comments and all the sorts. So what is Marketing Freak? Well, if you've been watching anything that I've been doing this week, I started Tuesdays, starting this week was Clean Freak. Wednesdays is Sales Freak, and Thursdays is going to be Marketing Freak. Now, why the three different shows? Well, because from my experience, the shows requires different mindsets, different concepts, and different skill sets to be a clean freak, someone in the cleaning industry that sells cleaning. And because I specialize in that, that's your message. So there's a lot of things and knowledge and skills that are required when you are in the cleaning industry. So that is a certain skill set. It is also a certain skill set that whatever industry you're in, that you have sales skills. For those that are in sales, for entrepreneurs, for business owners, having sales skills is essential to your success. And likewise, marketing is a separate skill set. Now, a lot of people kind of get confused between sales and marketing, especially nowadays with technology. But two ways to kind of think about sales and marketing is kind of like sales and marketing are Siamese twins, but they're also individual beings, right? They're individual skill sets. They're individuals that have their own characteristics. Now, selling could be thought of in many concepts, in many ways, as one-to-one. And marketing could be thought of as one-to-many. So that's what we're going to discuss in this show, is the concepts and skill sets that are required for one-to-many. So it has been quite a journey for me, because if anyone that knows anything about me, I started off with no sales skills, no marketing skills, and knew nothing about cleaning. And I knew how to talk. I was okay to talk, and I was kind of extroverted, but that was about it. So I got into sales in the cleaning industry. And so it has been a career. It has been a journey over the last 26 years to learn the cleaning industry, to learn sales, and then really over the last 10, 15 years with social media, with all the different platforms, is that marketing became something like we can do here. We're one-to-many. And so that really makes it unique in the sense that we all have to be marketers now. And we all have to be salespeople for the most part. So this show is for those that want to understand marketing tactics, marketing philosophies, marketing skills. And I'll just simply go over all the things I have learned over trial and error through many different people that I've studied from and learned from, to be able to stand here today and talk to you about marketing. Now, why freak? Well, I have come to realize if we're going to be good at anything, you have to be a freak, right? You have to be fanatical. And the word freak, kind of, if it's on its own, has a negative connotation to it. But as soon as you put a verb in front of it, like clean freak, sales freak, marketing freak, health freak, what have you, it is a positive, right? It's because we're sold out, we're focused, we're fanatical on one particular thing. So that's why the three skill sets. Now, what I want to talk to you about today is I want to talk to you about, what can you expect to learn, to go over when you watch this show. What are we going to tackle? Now, if you watched the show yesterday on Sales Freak, we talked about the 5 pillars of selling. And there is some crossover with what we're going to share today. But again, it's a separate mindset. It's a separate skill set. So today, just kind of the 40,000-foot view of what the show is going to be about and the topics we're going to cover and the skill sets. And then in subsequent shows, we will tackle each individual skill set. We'll have special guests on at times and things like that, and make this hopefully a learning environment where we can all learn together. So the thing I want to talk to you about today is something that I created called revenue production marketing. And so marketing needs to become, and has become in a lot of circumstances, a revenue driver. right? Marketing was always kind of, in the years past, before social media, before all the technology and stuff, marketing was kind of like a cost center in a way. Like marketing and sales drove, Peter Drucker said, marketing and sales drive revenue, and so does R&D, and everything else is a cost. But marketing in the old days, where they created a nice brochure and stuff for you, could be categorized as something that was a cost center. So, we want to make marketing a revenue center. So an example of that is having a website. Is your website drive revenue, or does your website, is it a cost center? Does it cost you to have? Just going to check us out see if we're on LinkedIn here. Make sure we're going live. So that's what you can expect. So when we take the revenue production marketing model, we have to look at marketing from a sales funnel, and we're feeding it through to sales. So on the front end here is what I like to call the first step, is kind of like the attract. Now, there's something that is very important before we start at this point, and it could even be a precursor to this, but it's definitely part of it. So when we're attracting people in marketing, and when we use these tools, we'll go over here in a second here, as you see from the slide, when we talk about Facebook, or we talk about LinkedIn, or we talk about blogs, or we talk about Instagram, we talk about YouTube, we talk about webinars, we talk about business cards, collecting business cards, going to networking events, knocking on people's doors. Before we start to market, we need to have a story. We need to have a strategy. We need to have a message. We need to have something that separates us, that creates demand. Marketing, is the external strategy of an organization. So what's the external strategy that you, as an entrepreneur, or as a salesperson, or as an organization, what are you trying to achieve? So again, marketing is the demand side of the value creation process. So we need to understand what we're going to do to create demand, and we need to create positive demand. We need to create demand that's going to create profits, not a market share, price-driven demand. Now, for us, and my assumption is on this, that with this show, that most of us want to drive profits. Yes, you can be some of the biggest companies in the world, and most richest people in the world are market share-driven organizations, such as Walmart or Amazon. But most of us can't play that game. Most of us have to play the profit-driven game. And if we're going to drive profits, if we're going to sell and market profitably, we have to have a message. We have to have a message of differentiation. So that's what this is. So when we're talking about, as an example, in the cleaning industry, before we start marketing through Facebook, before LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, all these platforms, we have to understand our message. What are the outcomes that we're trying to deliver, and what are the outcomes we deliver to our end user? So in the cleaning industry, the message should be might be health and safety. It might be improved indoor air quality. It might be improved productivity. It might be improving math scores, reading scores, cognitive function, reducing energy costs, water costs. There's a whole gamut of things that we can do. That is your message of differentiation. So when we're trying to attract people, we're using that message as the underlying foundation to what we're doing. So whether or not we're doing something on Facebook or on LinkedIn or any of these programs or platforms, we want to have a message, and that message needs to be consistent. We need to keep beating that message home. Indoor air quality, health and safety, whatever it is, the outcomes that you actually deliver. Now, but as we're doing that, as we're creating the attraction, and we're creating attraction, what do we want to do? So let me give you an example. I was just speaking with a lady yesterday. She called me. She's spending a lot of money every month on someone doing SEO on her website. But what she's doing, and the mistake she's making, is she's paying money to get SEO on her website. But that's if somebody is now in the need for her services. So what she's hoping is someone's going on to Google or DuckDuckGo or whatever it is, and enters in cleaning services, and that she pops up in that area that she lives. And then there's going to be a list of 5 or 10 different companies, and she's hoping that she ranks up in that top page, and she's hoping someone clicks her and then says, okay, and then reaches out to her. Okay, so that is the custom. There's a lot of flaws with that philosophy, as you can probably just hear it as I'm saying it. But the bottom line is that she's going after hot traffic. She's going after what Russell Brunson calls hot traffic, right? The person that is punching something on the internet saying cleaning services in the area has an itch that needs to be scratched, right? They are like, okay, they are, most likely fed up with their cleaning company. They feel they're paying too much. They feel they're not getting enough value. They want to create change, right? So now they know they want to create change, and they're searching. And now they're going to sit back and say, give me a quote, give me this, give me that. And you're already in a price-driven conversation. Okay. And she's spending lots of money to try to drive that hot traffic. But the two traffics she's missing by having her website and doing all the SEO, what she's missing is she's missing the cold traffic and the warm traffic. So the cold traffic is someone that doesn't know anything, right? They're like, someone's cleaning my building. I have no problems. I have no worries. They're not looking at all. And then there's the warm traffic where they might be, you know what? These people kind of suck, but the itch is not itchy enough that they need to scratch it. So she's missing out on those. And what we want to do is we want to market on these platforms. We want to attract the people that don't know they have a problem. Or if they do know they have a problem, they're recognizing, oh, so there's 3 stages of the funnel kind of, and most people are going after that one stage. They're just, here's my website, pick up the phone and call me. So what we want to do is we want to recognize that people are in different stages, the cold, warm, or hot. So when we do our newsletters, when we get a business card, when we make a cold call or a networking event, those people are going to be in different stages. They're going to be in cold, warm, or hot. If they're hot, they're ready to buy. Now, whether they buy from you or someone else is a different story. But the cold and the warm, that's where most of the people or the prospects are. So when we're trying to attract people, we want to lead them, but we don't want to lead them to your website, because your website in most circumstances is going to be a shiny brochure. And it's going to be all these different services that we offer, and a contact us page and an about us page. And it has these people, all these things that these people want to do. And if you ever do SEO analytics, you can see that, there might be 10, 15 people on your website right at that moment, but no one does anything. They might, they don't reach out to that contact me page and say, hey, give me a quote or what have you. That happens very rarely. So there's all these people coming to the website where you don't know if they're coming to your website. And so you're missing out on those opportunities. So what you want to do, and what this show is going to talk about, is that we want to take them to the next step. And the next step is to take them to a landing page or a squeeze page or a funnel page. It's all words for the same name. What it is, it's a page that asks them to do one thing. Okay, it asks them to fill out this form and get an immediate discount, or give us your name and email, and you'll get the 10 steps to protect yourself during COVID, or whatever it might be. The person is now interested. They're seeing your thing on Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever it is, and you drive them to one page that asks them to do one thing, so that they don't have all these shiny objects around. They're looking and they go, okay, I'm going to fill this out. When that person fills out that form, gives you their email, and gives you their name, you now have the beginnings of a relationship. You have the beginnings that now you've spent all this money in marketing and or time, and you've driven people to the beginning of your funnel. They're in your funnel. So now what you do with that is up to you. And that takes creativity, and that takes skill sets, and that takes thought. But it moves them into the next step, where now you have more control over your traffic. The person has given you their email. Now you can communicate with them. Or if we move into the next step, which is what I call engage. And this is a skill set in itself. But Now you're engaging with with that prospect. You're sending them content, information, newsletters, videos, whatever it might be. But it's also important to recognize, are they cold, warm, or hot traffic? And so your message may be different to each of them. But regardless, you want to make sure that your content is hitting that person. So it could be one newsletter, but it's talking to people that are cold, it's talking to people that are warm, and it's talking to people that are hot. And so this is really important that we get this and we understand this, because that really allows us to measure and to speak to an individual, and we start moving from one to many, which is marketing, and we start moving to one. When we're email marketing and video marketing to our customers and give them newsletters and things of that nature, we're still one to many, but it's becoming a little bit more intimate because it's directly to them. It's to their text number. It's to their email address, right? It's becoming more intimate, and we're moving along that funnel where we're trying to get them to become a customer. So one of the ways we do that is in the fourth step, which is the score step. So what does that mean? What it means is when we're sending out our content to people, right? We're sending out the weekly newsletter, the weekly videos. Are they reading it? And how engaged are they? So what we want to do is we want to score these people. We want to give them a point, mathematical point for every single time they do something. So if they open up your email every week, then you give them 1 point, week 2, 2 points, week 3, 3 points. There's a lot of engagement there. And as they're accumulating points, in their mind, they are getting more familiar with you and your company. They are becoming more trusting of you and your company. They're starting to look at you as someone that provides insights and value to them. So they're now not, you're not just someone they're going to search for on the internet and maybe ask for a quote. They're like, okay, this person's talking to me. This person's talking about how I can improve areas of my facility or whatever it might be. So you are driving to more and more towards a one-to-one conversation. One-to-many is marketing, one-to-one is sales. So when we do that, we score them. Now what we do is we can then decide through this list of people that are on our email list and our marketing campaigns, we can sit back and say, okay, here's 5 people or 10 people or 20 people, whatever it is, that have hit a certain amount of points. That means they show a lot of engagement, and they obviously know who we are and care enough to at least open the email. Right? There's other things they could do as well, but we'll talk about that another day. But we now know that they're engaged, and you've scored them to some level. So now is when we start handing this over to sales. Now, it might be you might be the marketing person and the salesperson. You may have a sales team, but why spend all the money on your sales team when them doing follow-up and stuff like this to people that aren't interested? Let's wait till they're interested. And when they're interested, that's when sales gets involved. So what we want to do for the overall marketing concept is we want to take one-to-many marketing and take it down to one-to-one sales. And there's different ways that we do that, but it is the journey of the customer. And this has taken me years to understand, years to recognize, because I was a sales guy. I did everything on my own. I went and knocked on a door. I put my business cards on the desk. I said to myself, I'm going to call this person back in 3 months. I'd call them back. They didn't know who I was. They'd say, oh, we just switched to somebody, or we're just not interested, or who's calling? Because I'd done nothing since the first time I went and got their business card. So we want to change that. We want to add value, whether or not we get their business card or through Facebook or through social media. However we connect with them, we want to add value to them so that they know who we are. As Jeb Blunt says in the book, Fanatical Prospecting, they become familiar with us, right? When you email someone or you phone them and leave them a voice message, what have you, they start to become familiar with you. They're no longer a stranger. It's kind of like the person that you see from time to time in the grocery store. And at some point, you look at each other and you kind of smile and you have a familiarity, right? They've seen you a number of times. You've seen them a number of times. And you just have a more trust with them and to them. So That's what this show is going to be about. This show is about becoming a marketing freak, and as you can see, there's a lot of things we can do, from how we write emails, or how we do videos, or how we use Facebook, or how we use LinkedIn. And this, as I said, has taken me a long time, because I was a sales guy and I have become a marketer. But I became a marketer because I got freakoid about it. I put it on as my identity and recognized I have to learn this. I have to become this if I'm going to be successful at it. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to make you aware of an upcoming webinar I'm doing with the fine folks at Cleantelligent. Now, if you don't know what Cleantelligent is a software program that really helps the cleaning industry. So this webinar is going to be 3 secrets to grow your cleaning business without being the lowest price. Now, it is on Thursday, November the 12th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, or 11 a.m. Pacific Time. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 secrets for the cleaning industry to get out of that price-driven sale and get into a market-driven sale, which is what we all want. And so that's what this show is about. That's what that webinar is about. I highly encourage you to sign up and register for it today. And I look forward to seeing you in the upcoming episodes as we do a deep dive into marketing and the tactics involved. I'm Aidan Rigg, and I will see you in the next episode.